today, for the first time, we have with us Ryan McLaren. Ryan, welcome to ARY News. Lovely having a South African player in the squad now. We were just waiting for someone. So Ryan, the first thing I'm going to ask is, yesterday I noticed that during fielding practice you were doing the most diving. Was there anyone else who did as much diving as you? We were discussing this with Mickey Arthur, because of course the notion is that in Pakistan perhaps the outfield in some grounds is not so great, and so they don't do as much diving practice.
I think that's quite accurate, to be honest. I think we're fortunate in South Africa, there's a lot more grass on the outfield, so you'll be excused or for the local players to use their feet and hands instead of just diving around, because sometimes it's a bit rough on the body. But look, we've got to practice it, that's what we're going to get in the games, and try and simulate our practices as much as possible. So all of our guys that potentially will be fielding on the boundaries would have to try and practice that as much as possible. So yeah, there was a lot of diving and a couple of sore old bodies, but it's all fun.
Now, of course, it's your first season with Karachi Kings, and the squad is very different from last time. So now that we've got almost everyone here, and Mohammad Amir has joined today as well, we've had a practice match. How do you think the team is gelling?
Very well. We had a nice football game on the first day of practice, just to get to know all the guys, and still trying to remember all the names. It's a big squad, but as you say, we're pretty much a full house now, barring Pollard and Gale, that should be arriving hopefully soon before the game. But no, the spirits are good. A really nice bunch of guys in the team, lovely management, and so everyone's really getting along nicely and gearing up to the first game.
Ryan, when you first started playing, maybe the emphasis was more on tests, and now we hear that Cricket South Africa is starting another T20 franchise, different from the Ram Slam. So do you think these T20 leagues are only going to get more popular, and so this kind of thing is very good practice for players across the world?
Yeah, look, I think the T20 format in itself is, every country has got its own T20 league, and I think from South African point of view, they feel that they need to produce some sort of league that's going to start competing with the other leagues around the world. I think at the moment it's quite good clear to see that the BBL in Australia is quite a way ahead, and probably the IPL as well. They're setting the tone and the way they market the product and the way they get bums on seats. It's amazing. So I think South Africa, as a cricket union, need to find something to compete with that and make sure that the local players are still playing in South Africa, and that we can also attract the overseas players around the world. So it is exciting times, and as I say, every country now has got to find something that's going to make it special, and it's nice to be part of as a cricketer.
With so much emphasis on spin now, we've had, since December, we've had the England Lions, the Young Lions, the Pakistan and Australia under-16s, the Australia Test squad, all practicing at the academy. And now that you've actually had a practice game here, compared to South African pitches, how different was it? The ball coming off the bat, and of course, how much bounce did you generate?
I think it's obviously you generally would be a bit slower off the wicket. Find it a bit more of a tennis ball bounce, so it doesn't necessarily skid onto the wicket, onto the bat as some other conditions in the subcontinent. So yeah, it's quite slow. But that's the challenge of being able to adapt to these conditions. But it's incredible facilities. Really, it is so nice to be able to come to a place. You've got so many different fields or in seriously good condition, and the nets are really good. So it's great to be able to come and practice here.
And of course, you mentioned tennis ball. So have you ever had the opportunity to watch the famous Tball cricket on the streets of Pakistan?
I've seen a couple of videos and clips of it, but I think the only way I can relate to that is that in South Africa, in some of the townships, in the rural areas, they have something very similar, and they try and recreate that. Maybe not always in a taped tennis ball sort of game, but very similar. So yeah, in some sort of way we can relate to that. But it's special, and that's where everything starts, isn't it? So hopefully there's many more special cricketers that come out of that.
Thank you so much.